All right, we're on to the piston. Unless your outriggers are leaking down, so when you're level and the outriggers are settling, you more than likely don't have to replace your piston seal, but we do offer a kit at Hep Parts to replace all the piston seals. All right, this first big black one, that's a bearing, like those two smaller ones in the outrigger or in the gland. It just pops off. The actual piston seal has three pieces to it. This first one is just a little black, it's called a quad ring O-ring. You can pop it off. That gold one is hard. I usually take a razor blade or a knife, cut down through it, and then take a pick, and right where you cut, pop it in, and it'll crack. And it just peels off. And then underneath, there's a square looking O-ring. It's called the Energizer. Just pop it out. And then this is your square Energizer for your new seal. Just pop it on. Now, a tip, take your old O-ring from your gland, and you can put it in there and just work it right around and it pops right on. Make sure it's not twisted. Then this gold looking seal, it's a hard Teflon. You need to heat it up, and then you put it on. I usually take a O-ring again, and it'll, gonna have to heat it up for a little bit. Once we get the gold ring heated, it's going to stretch out over your piston and it's going to be loose. It needs to be resized. I have an actual piston seal resizer. Obviously, if you don't have one, you can take a hose clamp. I usually put black tape around it if you're going to use a hose clamp or duct tape with the sticky side out. You don't want the sticky on the seal. Put the hose clamp over the pistons and seal, tighten it down, and leave it set 10 to 15 minutes. And that'll resize this seal and push it all back together. If you don't resize it, it'll be way too loose, and when you go to put it back in the cylinder bore, it'll probably cut that ring. All right, we got our seal heated, and it is hot. I'm gonna put this O-ring around it again. And it just pops right on. All right, I'll resize it a little bit. We can put this bearing on. It just pops right on like that. And this quad ring goes in the groove of this piston. And you can just, when you put it in, make sure it does not get twisted. Just work it around real easy. Make sure it's not twisted. And then we'll put our resizer on. And just pull it tight like that, and that will resize that ring. All right, now got our gland and our piston done. We'll put some clean hydraulic oil on the gland, and then we'll slide it on the rod, and then the piston, and torque it down.